Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 16 of the anime series Rage of Bahamut, Virgin Soul. And I loved this episode. It was like a jailbreak all over again, this time encircling El Mugato, trying to break out of the heavenly realm and get back to the earthly realm. And it was pretty sneaky how he managed to accomplish this, having stolen Nina's cape and cowl, or cloak and cowl, and sneaking out, from the room that he, Bacchus, and Hamsa the duck are imprisoned in. Hamsa the duck. I usually don't know this duck's name. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, Hamsa. But finally I learned it, and I'll probably forget it for the next episode if they don't mention it 3 times like they did in this episode. But of course they have to give chase because El is trying to make his way out. He's trying to get back to the hippogriff, the hippogriff drawn carriage, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's what the creature is or if that's the name of the creature. But he wants the hell out of there, and he's managed to successfully get almost, 3/4 of the way out, with Nina and Bacchus right on his tail. And were it not for Nina almost falling to her penultimate doom, her demise through that gate, that portal up into the heavenly realm with all the lightning and everything, kind of looking like the 5th series of Doctor Who, the opening titles with the storm through the clouds and everything like that, meant to be the time-space vortex. Getting way off track with this episode talking about that, but it looked very similar. Were it not for that, though, Nina falling almost to her death and El going after her, they probably would not have successfully gotten out of the heavenly realm at all. All of the angels, Sophia, Gabrielle, everyone, they are right there behind them. And Bacchus is basically of the opinion, like, it's stay and get killed or get the hell out of here. And so he does his little whistle, he takes a flying leap, and there is the hippogriff to be right there to capture him, catch them as they're all falling, and they all get into the back of the thing in midair, and this is their spiriting themselves away. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I was also highly intrigued by cutting back and forth between this and what's going on with Kaiser. He has a bag put over his head from his prison cell in the dungeon, and he's brought to the Colosseum, where he's pitted against Azazel. Now, talk about this series leaving me dumbstruck, this, that, and the other way. I could not have predicted any of this was what was going to actually unfold, what was actually going to happen, with, of course, Cherios watching passively as he's pitting Kaiser and Azazel against each other in a fight to the death. And I was so disappointed by the rest of humankind, all the patrons that are watching this, cheering, wanting death, wanting someone to bleed out, wanting to see death and destruction. Just the lowest dregs of humanity are what make up most of the people watching this, overseeing this, and they're highly disappointed, rightfully and thankfully so. And suddenly a hand gets thrown in the ring from, the seats of everyone watching. And it turns out to be Favreau. As soon as you see that sort of fro peeking out from under that like hoodie or whatever, I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see how he's going to step in, what he's going to do. I know he's going to do something. I didn't know what he was going to do. But he's sitting there with that smug grin on his face, and I was dying. I was just like, any minute now, something's going to go down. And right when you find Azazel, he's like, imploring Kaiser, kill me, or you're the one who's going to die. And he's like, why aren't you, putting up a fight? Why aren't you defending yourself? And Kaiser's rightfully like, dude, without a hand? One hand short here, buddy. But of course, as I say, that hand gets thrown in, and it's hilarious. I loved it. I love seeing these 3 guys come together and aid each other in their escape. Again, kind of giving that, prison escape feel, reminding us of that all over again, coinciding with the heavenly escape. And it was fantastic. I love how they all get back together at the end, of course, with Rita, who's waiting. I guess she sent Favreau. I guess she and Favreau got together, and of course, she was the one who decked him out with the smoke bombs. She has all the science work and all that technical capacity to create those smoke bombs so they could be aided in their escape. So I'm assuming they commiserated and she gave that stuff because, of course, how would Favreau get the hand anyway? That's her buddy, kind of like the Addams Family's thing, and so I loved it. I love that they come back together, and basically you have these guys, each one of these guys, Azazel, Kaiser, and Favreau, they're all kind of about their own business. They don't really want to have to unite. They don't want to have to get together and work with each other. They're very begrudging and reluctant to do so. But Kaiser is imploring them. Rita is imploring, Azazel, take the neck collar off and everything. Work with us. Work along with us. We're going to seek to try to figure out what Chadios is up to, what his machinations are up to, and as part of the aftermath, if you join with us, we might be able to save Demon Kind and all this stuff. Is Kaiser's trying to persuade us, and it cracks me up because it seems like he'll begrudgingly go along with this, but as soon as he agrees to stick around, Favreau's like, I'm out. All right, check y'all later. And, of course, Kaiser grabs him and he's like, dude, come on, don't leave me hanging here. And so they're all going to be joined, together. They're going to join forces and everything. And it's just so awesome. I love all these characters coming together, especially with Azazel, who is constantly sort of antagonistic toward them, especially in the first season and everything. And he hasn't been very much impressed with Kaiser and all that kind of stuff. Like, this is the last thing he probably wants to do. But the promise of maybe helping out Demon Kind, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's also motivated by the idea of, if we find out what this weapon is and how to control it, maybe I'll steal it. I'll usurp the power of it and use it against humanity, that kind of thing. That might be his ulterior motive there. But I just love that they're all coming together. As soon as Nina and Elle and Bacchus and everybody catches up with them, it's going to be gangbusters. I predict it now. It's going to be awesome sauce seeing them getting together and trying to figure this stuff out and being a unified group against, look at the odds, the insurmountable seeming odds of going against the demon realm, the heavenly realm, and all of humanity, at least as composed to Anatai, where they're returning back to, It seems insane. But it's fantastic. It's kind of like the original Star Wars, A New Hope, where you had Luke, you had Leia, you had Han, and a small rebel fleet, and they moved mountains going up against the Empire and the Death Star. It feels like that's the way this story is going to be aligning, and I'm so all kinds of stoked for that. So, love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of this particular episode of Rage of Bahamut Virgin Soul, if you've seen it as well. Completely was laughing my ass off the entire time. Nina, Bacchus, and Hamsa were going to try to get the jump on Elle, who had snuck away, and they're like, okay, at the count of 3, we're all going to jump, and then they jump at the wrong time. They don't land on him, they land on each other. I love that little 3-way thing. That's thumbnail material right there, the 3-way where they're all giving the thumbs up, like, yeah, we're going to do this, 1, 2, 3, and then they fail. They completely miss the mark. Was dying. The charm, the surprise of this series never fails to escape me. And as I say, let me know, love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Just want to hear from you and love having that conversation. And so otherwise it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.